You are listening to Best in Seattle Real Estate with host Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420. This podcast is for real estate agents. Tina interviews the best of the best agents in the greater Seattle market. Learn strategies and the mindset needed to be your best. If you're looking to take your real estate business to the next level, this show is for you.
Welcome to Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Hubbard Radio Seattle. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. My show is with real estate agents for real estate agents. My lineup is exclusive and reserved for the best of the best in the greater Seattle real estate market based on closed transactions in the last 12 months. If you are a real estate agent looking to level up your game, you are in the right place. My guest today is here to share what she has learned over the years that has taken her to the top in the real estate field. Now in studio, Kari Scott of John L. Scott Real Estate. Kari has closed 39 transactions in the last 12 months, and that earns her the title of industry leader, and she is here today to share her secrets to success. Data provided and verified by MMI, a mobility market intelligence. Kari, thank you so much for joining my show this morning.
Good morning, and thanks for having me.
Very excited to have a conversation with you, and more excited for the real estate agents that are listening to the show to be able to hear your wisdom, inspiration, and expertise. I would also like to give a shout out and a big thank you to my producer substitute. Normally, if you watch the show on a regular basis, Benny's my producer, but he gets a vacation occasionally, and Nathan is here from Hubbard Radio. So Nathan, I wanted to say thank you for stepping in. I know there's a lot of things behind the scenes that you do, and I just really appreciate you.
My pleasure, Tina. Great to be with you on this beautiful day in Seattle.
It is a gorgeous day for sure in Seattle. So before we get started, I'd like to share a little bit about my guest for my listeners. So Kari has lived and conducted business in the Seattle metro area for the past 20 plus years, consistently in the top 1% of John L. Scott company-wide from 2000 to 2022. She is recognized as one of the top agents in the Seattle metro area and is ranked in Washington as one of the top 100 brokers in the state. 90% of her business is repeat and referral due to her Nordstrom quality service. Kari uses her time, energy, and resources to invest in client relationships. Her approach of investing in her clients gives them the trust and confidence to not only use her again, but to refer Kari to their family, friends, and associates. Kari's team includes Lynn Sterling, Director of Operations, a full-time licensed assistant of 15 plus years, and Lyra Noyes, buyer, broker, and assistant who also offers top-notch service, a wealth of knowledge, and a willing spirit to do whatever it takes to get the job done. Again, Kari, I'm really excited to be here with you and to have my listeners be inspired by our conversation. So thank you again.
Oh, well, thanks for having me.
So I shared in your bio and introduction that majority of your business comes, 90% of it comes from your past clients and their referrals. Can you expand on that and also share how you foster those relationships to get so much repeat business?
Well, I just started like every other realtor, one person at a time. And probably one thing I did that I think really helped the trajectory of my career is I went to a Brian Buffini seminar. And I said, I think this is the road for me. I had to have my own business prior to that. And I wanted to take the fast lane to success. So I was really open to receive what I needed to do and then actually do it. Because it's not hard. It's not hard what I do, but it's hard to be consistent at it. So I just started with a friend of mine had lost a family member, and I called her up and I invited her for lunch because she's my friend. And then she asked what I was doing. And the next thing I know, she's brought me 6 transactions and I sold a lot of real estate right out the gate. And then the real work started, because you have to maintain those relationships. You have to be consistent with how you are connect with people, and you have to let people know you're really there for them, and that you're confident and that you're competent in what you do.
Yeah, and you say the fast lane to success, and it's interesting. It is a simple lane to success because there's a roadmap and there's a plan. All you need to do is follow what the best of the best are doing. And as you said, Kari, and I know how you manage and foster your relationships. It's strategic, it's consistent, follow through and follow up through your high touch program. So strategic, meaning you have a group of people that you can manage on a consistent basis to stay in touch, because you have to have a series of touches. You can't touch one and then a year later come touch them again and randomly be not targeted on who those people, but consistently be in contact. And the side of a fast lane to success doesn't mean that the results come quickly. It's a fast lane to success once that lane, that road starts to travel, and then it's just a consistent fast level of success. But you have to work it right in order to get to that fast lane.
So I should really qualify. Fast lane is like my previous business I did for 18 years. And I bled, sweat, and tears because I've always been an entrepreneur. So I owned my own business before this. So when I transferred to this, I thought, well, I got to do this quickly because I can't take as long as it took me last time to do this. But it's been a fast 24-year lane. But that's what it is. I mean, it did not happen overnight. And I used to wake up like every other realtor on January 1st and go, oh my God, how did I do that? And how am I going to do it again?
Yes.
And I would actually wake up New Year's when you think, oh, it's the new year. Yeah. I'd be like, oh God, the clock just went back to zero. And now I've got to try to figure out how I'm going to keep doing this again. So, and I'm not perfect at it, and I'm a student of the game, but I've done enough things right over the years that have snowballed. And the main thing is you're just there to take care of your people, take care of yourself, which I learned along the way, and consistently just keep those touches. And sometimes the consistency is not there. And then other times I'm so consistent, I can barely believe I'm that consistent. But it took putting systems in place, like you, Tina, are the queen of the one time your business. We quote you in our office all the time. No, that's a 2-time. And Tina would say, no, we're doing a 1-time. So we do this all the time like that. So we're focused because we refine things, because I came out the gate just shiny and fresh like every other realtor saying, let's go sell real estate. But I didn't realize what it all took. So it's been a compounding layered effect, the compounding effect of the continual touches and the reputation that you build, and the customers when you your clients are your friends, because you get so personal with them on so many levels that you get to know them, they get to know you, the trust is there, and then it just builds from that.
Yeah, and I like how you said a student of the game, because no matter where you're at in your business, how you continue to maintain that business and even better grow it, you're always leveling up and finding out how you can get better and more efficient. And if you're listening to my conversation with Kari today, sometimes when you're not doing the business that you want, and even more so if you're struggling to even survive in the business, and you see these top 1% agents and you're like, oh, they're just lucky, or they have some special relationship or some special friends or something that I don't have that gives them an edge. And that is absolutely not true. Every top 1% does not have an edge. They have to work really hard to get that business. But the great thing is this show is here so that you can hear what they're doing, and all you have to do is implement it into your own sphere and your own database. And I also like how you said becoming friends, because what a better business that we have, that we can work and play in our business. We work hard and we play hard because the playing is part of our business. We're getting together, we're doing activities and having a great time. And that's what you have when you have a strategic group of people that you're courting. And I said our last show, and I say it a lot, you can either stalk the cold or you can court the warm. And I'm here to tell you, and Kari would agree, that courting the warm is a lot more fun than stalking the cold, right, Kari?
And let's face it, people have choices. I'm not the only realtor in town. You're not the only lender in town. I mean, people have choices, and in the real estate business, people come in and they jump in it, then they jump out of it. And a lot of times, their sister became a realtor. Well, there goes one of your A+ clients, because now they're going to work with family, so you have to constantly be lead generating, let people know you're there, and tell them, that your biggest compliment that you could ever receive, if they're happy with the service. And you do this right at the very beginning, so you set the expectation. You reinforce it through the middle of the transaction, and at the very end, in every thank you note I've written ever, I always say, if you're happy with the level of service that you've received, our greatest thanks is you sharing our name and number, or doing a group email or a text and saying, please talk to so-and-so, because we feel you would be a good fit and they can help you based on, our experience of working with them.
And that's a great shout out. You always have to make the ask. You always have to let them know, thank you for the introductions. And one quick thing, we'll get to the next question. Also, whenever somebody says, you are amazing, thank you so much, the worst thing you can do is say, oh yeah, no worries, it's my job. When somebody goes out of their way to say thank you, thank you for recognizing how hard it is for my team and myself to do what we do. The best compliment is an introduction to someone right now that might be looking in the future to buy or sell real estate. So never miss an opportunity to make that ask. So Kari, what is the biggest challenge that you have in your business, and how did you overcome that challenge?
Well, it's kind of like people say, well, how do you live a balanced life? I don't believe everything is ever all balanced. I believe I have like 5 plates going in the air at all times, and it's a balancing the ing. They forgot the ing at the end of balance, because it's a balancing act. Where some days you're really great over here, and then other days you think, ooh, this one's falling, and it's a constant juggling, balancing act. And then it gets down with trying to be efficient with how you do things. Making sure that I've learned over these years, you have to try to take care of yourself first, because you can't take care of yourself or your team or your assistant or your clients if you're not there. And this business can have a huge amount of burnout. And I'm going to look at the camera and go, I'm talking to all of you that know exactly what I'm talking about, where you may lay out these family plans, things you're going to do, and then all of a sudden your phone starts ringing and people need you, and somebody lost a key or broken in a door, whatever it could possibly that will happen. So having support is a huge part of it, because when your business gets to a certain level, you just can't do it all yourself. Listen, you can't do everything. You have to have help. So getting even a part-time assistant or a transaction coordinator, or someone that just sends out your mailings, if you do mailings, or helps you with your social media, you need help when you get to a certain level, because the reality is your clients don't care what goes on in your office behind the scenes. They just want to see you when they need you. They want to know you're there for them, and you are a problem solver. And when they have a problem, they're going to call you. So it's a constant balancing act. It's been the hardest part. I've probably taken more vacation this year and last year than I've taken in all the years that I've been selling real estate, because I just see how important it is. And I felt like I was kind of a slow learner on that train. Like, I just am a people pleaser. So I just want to take care of everybody and make sure they're all happy and this and that. But, you have a life too. Your life isn't just real estate. And when you're gone, no one's going to say, oh, you sold a zillion houses. You want them to say you were a good sister, mother, daughter, aunt, whatever it might be. So you really have to look at the life balancing of doing things. And so when you do that, you're happier. Ultimately, your business is better and everybody's happy.
Yeah. And people want to work with people that are at their best self. And yeah, and it is a balancing. Use a great app is Clockify. Put in Clockify everything that you do, business and personal. It's really easy once you get used to it. And then at the end of the year, I want you to take a look at it and see what your personal hours are versus what your business hours are. Because as Kari said, it's balancing. One day or 1 week, you're going to have a lot in real estate. You're going to have to cancel some of your personal things. But at the end of the year, take a look and make sure you've got a balance of how much time you put in your personal and your professional life. So coming up next on Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, continuing conversation with Kari Scott of John L. Scott Real Estate.
So when submitting an offer on a home, the lender your buyer chooses to work with can make or break the offer based on their local reputation. Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, has a stellar relationship in the real estate community. She has been awarded Partner of the Year from Washington Realtors, Media of the Year from Seattle King County Realtors, and Member of the Year from Women's Council of Realtors. With over 25 years in the mortgage industry, Tina has worked hard to establish her place in the mortgage space. For more information on how Tina is helping her buyers stand out next to their competition, go to TinaMitchellTeam.com. That's TinaMitchellTeam.com.
Welcome back to Best in Seattle Real Estate Podcast, sponsored by Hubbard Radio Seattle. I am your host and local mortgage expert, Tina Mitchell. Continued conversation with Kari Scott of Jamal Scott Real Estate. Are you a real estate agent looking for that one thing to take your business to new heights? Kari is here to motivate and inspire you to be your best. You will learn what Kari is doing and how you can implement her best practices into your real estate business. Today, as Kari is sharing her strategies and mindset needed to be the best in the industry. Kari is here to inspire other real estate agents to level up their real estate business. Kari, thank you again for being with me today.
Thank you, Tina. Great to be here with you.
So, what is the single most important reason you see success in your business, Kari?
Well, I have this sign in my office that when I was little, my mom said, you can do whatever you want to do if you put your mind to it and you're willing to do the work. So about 5 years ago, I saw this little gold and white sign thing. And so I put it in my office and it says, she knew she could, so she did. So I think the first thing that it really hits down is like, can I do it? And if you really ardently believe that you can, you will. So when I first put it in, my assistant looked at me, she goes, well, what is that? Like, what is, and I said, well, I believe we can, because quite often I would say, let's try this, because I like to pivot a lot. I said, let's try this. We're going to do this. And she would turn her head around and look at me like, what? You know, she would be like, and I'm like, I know we can, so we will. And so that's kind of our mantra, whatever it is. You know, if you just want a job where you do the same thing every day, it's not real estate, because you wear so many hats and help people on so many different levels and people you work with that you really have to just decide that you're going to do whatever it takes. And I think that's a lot of realtors that I've worked with. I mean, they're really good, but maybe they're just good at this one part and then they don't put energy in this part. And I think to be truly successful across the board, you know, you have to lead generate, you have to do after sale service, you have to be consistent on a contact basis with them, and you have to just do a really good job and communicate with them and let them know you're there for them. And I think when you do that, people resonate with that. They trust you, they want to work with you, and then you kind of go through their life phases with them too.
Yeah. And
So I think it's self-belief, the power of the made-up mind. I think the power of the made-up mind, it sounds woo-woo, but if you really think about anything you've ever done that you really ardently wanted or desired and you put your mind to it, you probably did it, didn't you? I mean, at least that's how it's worked for me.
you have to have woohoo. And I love, she knew she should. She
knew she could, so she did.
So she did.
Yeah.
And the story behind it. So if you're listening to the show right now, what words can you put together, and what's the story behind those words that bring an emotional connection to you that you can do it? Because you have to have that confidence and you have to remind yourself through your affirmations. So great shout out. So I have a question here about the work-life balance, but we talked about that. So I'm going to skip to my last question as we're wrapping up the show here, Kari. But what natural gift do you have that helps you in your business?
I'm quick. I have a sense of humor. And I really care, and I don't give up. So those are probably the things that do it.
I love that. Yes, you do have a sense of humor. And what's great about you in your balance of your personalities, you have a sense of humor, but such a welcoming and warming person that people just want to be around you. I mean, if you're watching the show on video, you can just see that in Kari's smile. So yeah, you have to have a fighting spirit. All winners have a fighting spirit. You've got to look at the challenges and the losses as gains and opportunities to take it to the next level. Because if you continue staying where you're at, you will continue to stay where you're at if you're not pushing yourself to make mistakes. And through those mistakes is where you learn. And when you learn, you're constantly leveling up your business. So Kari, again, it was such a pleasure to have you here, and just congratulations on your success, because right now in the shifting market, to see agents that are doing business like you are, and they're maintaining a massive amount of assistance and help that they're giving to their buyers and sellers. Just congratulations for that, Kari.
Thank you. And all I can say is, in real estate, the one thing that you can always count on is the change.
Yes, yeah, great way. Final words to end our show today. So, to watch my video recording with Kari or other industry leaders in the real estate space, go to bestinseattlerealestate.com, or you can catch my show on YouTube or our Facebook page. Tina Mitchell, your host and local mortgage expert. Until next time.
Thank you.
Tina Mitchell, MLO 145420, is a licensed loan originator with Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited. The views expressed by the speakers on the preceding program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited, nor are they necessarily endorsed by Highlands Residential Mortgage Limited.